My name is Robert Baca. I'm the AmCal Development Manager for Block 49. I am very excited to be here today and start construction, as we've been starting construction for the last 3 weeks. The biggest thing today for me is that we're a year and a half away from 60 families having brand new affordable homes. And something like that really excites me. And you know, I can't emphasize how much collaboration went into this project, how much hard work, and I just want to thank everybody. I'm going to be very quick today because we have a great group of speakers. But I just want to make a quick story about why this project is so special to me. I lived in San Francisco for a long time. I went to school at San Francisco State University, so I've been following this community for a very long time, since 2006. So being part of this project means a lot for me. And I just want to thank the mayor and his office. I would like to thank OCI and all their commissioners, Lennar Urban, Young Community Developers, the Citizens Advisory Committee, Bank of America, David Baker Architects, Kalo Contractors, and every single consultant and my whole development team. You know, without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And I want to give a special thanks to Bridget LeBlanc for putting this event together on such short notice. This is a great turnout, and this is a really good event. The one thing that fascinates me about real estate development is that it's one of the few industries that requires such a large amount of collaboration and teamwork. You really can't find a lot of industries out there that requires this level of collaboration. And I always like to compare real estate development to team sports, and a lot of people that know me are probably tired of this comparison. But instead of doing a 45-minute lecture on how real estate development is a team sport, I just want to compare my team, my development team, to the 2012 49ers. And you could call me Colin Kaepernick. And honestly, I've worked with the best team, the best public and private partners. And this has just been an unbelievable experience for me. I want to give a special thanks to Pam Sims. Also want to give a special thanks to Shaman Walden and to Anya Spivey. These are probably the three people that I've worked with the most and this last year getting this project to where it's at. And I am sure that they are very happy that they don't have to hear from me every single day like they were for a long time. So I'm very grateful for everybody. There's really not enough time for me to thank everybody individually, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited to get this completed and get the families moved in. And now we're to the good part of the program. I want to introduce a very special guest. This man was my mayor for 3 years, so I've had a good opportunity to learn a lot about him. And he's a great mayor. And he's dedicated to increasing affordable housing in the city of San Francisco. I want to introduce Mayor Edwin Lee.
Thank you very much for that. I like these construction hats. That means we're getting things done. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, welcome to the Bayview. As always. Well, it's a good time for the city. It's a good time to get together with friends. It's a good time to get together with community, to celebrate, but also, as always, to get more work done for our residents. And I'm out here again, as I've said over and over again, I ain't making new promises. Phase one's about old promises. And I want to just thank the commissioners and the staff of OCII to help me keep that promise. Lennar, this is our phase one. A promise to build 60 units of 100% affordable housing for this community. That is a great holiday story. And I can, yes, be proud of ourselves. Be proud of this city working together to get that done. And while we're doing it in the right way. We're doing it with good companies, good subcontractors, good people that utilize the talent of this community already. 30% of the workforce is from Bayview. And it will get 50% San Francisco residents to help build this housing. So not only is it a good goal that we look forward to opening in 2016, we're doing it in a fashion in which local residents get these jobs, because it is all about jobs. And I can see that in the eyes of the gentleman standing back there. You're not doing barbecue, you're working. But, the story goes, and I will continue explaining this story to everybody that I can is that this community is invaluable to our city. And now, as people get down here more and more often to take a look at the homes that are opening up here, the communities that we're building, the partnerships that we have with entities like AmCal and YCD and the people who are working, they're going to feel more and more, God, where has Bayview been? Where have I been to not recognize Bayview? And of course, I think you're going to see a huge surge of people who want to live here. So those of you who own and rent here, hold on to your properties. Make sure you do the right investments. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Because when we do expand more and more attention to this area, you're going to find a lot of people naturally inclined to want to live here and be here. And I say to the residents here, it was a promise too that you never be isolated from our city. Residents do deserve to be hooked up, connected up, be a great part of the city. And this has always been about one of the major reasons why I took up the challenge to become the mayor of the city, and I will continue doing that for all of our communities, because this is what not only makes me feel good, this is the right thing to do, carry out promises that have been made over many, many years and be assuring that those things are done. So I want to, again, thank all the agencies. I'm excited for this project to happen. We break open this ground. I am in great anticipation. I'm not sure I can wait until 2016 for these homes to open. Meanwhile, we'll probably be opening up other construction projects to advance and accelerate housing. Tomorrow you'll hear more about how we're doing it across the city to build more affordable housing. This is the theme of my administration, is the affordability agenda. I'm going to be talking about it until everybody is sick and tired, because you were sick and tired of me talking about jobs, jobs, jobs. Well, guess what? We did get 7,000 kids jobs as a result. We got 4.3 unemployment rate in the city. We got companies coming high and low into the city. I want the benefits of that economic strength to reach everybody in the city, everyone, including the Bayview. And this is what we get to do with additional revenues. Build more housing, get more kids, more people employed, allow them to experience the wonder of earning their way forward. And then we can work in collaboration with getting even better leadership. And that's what I'm talking about when I mention the name Shaman Walker, because YCD has been there for us. In fact, did you know that YCD just a few years ago was struggling until they found Mr. Walton to come lead that effort? They were struggling to find out what their role was, and then we started a relationship to say, no, we really mean it. We really want our youth to be employed. We want them to be trained in those employment. That it was for us in City Hall a reality that we're planning for this very day, when we see all of this construction going on in the city, that we wanted this community, and particularly its youth, to feel that, to be involved with it. So we started investing in YCD. They started responding with good leadership. And today, we're proud to say that YCD has been named one of the nonprofit, the best nonprofit in 2014 by the Nonprofit Times for this year. Isn't that an accomplishment right here? Ranked nationally as number 10 on an overall list of 50 nonprofits, ranked number 4 specifically in the small nonprofit category. They've experienced tremendous growth. You know, they grew in the past few years from a staff of 9 to now 25 team members, and they're still there. They're getting all these jobs. They're a great, strong partner with our summer jobs and now year-round jobs for all of our youth. And they are right in the center of our employment services, particularly when we're putting skills out there and training people to get the new jobs, the new economy, the advanced manufacturing, the transportation jobs, the housing jobs, the construction jobs, even helping us place folks into the healthcare industry, which is our number one explosive employment sector in the city. And I know everyone in the community would love to have an attachment to healthcare, to our hospitality, to our construction, and now to local manufacturing. This is all the work that YCD is doing. So with that, I'm proud to welcome to the podium the director of the YCD, but also a great partner for this housing project, Shaman Walton. Of course, newly elected school board member as well.
So first of all, definitely want to thank everybody for coming out. Definitely want to thank you, Mayor Lee, not only for your leadership, but also for your continued presence in this community. We have a lot of work coming to Bayview, a lot of work going on in Bayview Hunters Point, and we can always count on you to be here to show your support and to demonstrate your leadership. So thank you for that. I also want to acknowledge YCD's Board of Directors. Our board president, Mr. Claude Everhart, is here. Ms. Carol Tatum, Manny Flores. So churches, homes, schools, and businesses are all built on faith. And this Block 49 is a recognition of the faith that we have in the community going forward here in Bayview Hunters Point, and the faith that the city, the community, all of us trust in terms of what this shipyard could be. We're excited about the community participation on this project, all the way from the beginning of the design with the project to the construction of the project to eventually making sure that we have members of this community living and residing in the units here at Block 49. It's been exciting to work with AMCAL, OCII, a former redevelopment agency, Lennar, and Cahill to make sure that our folks, members of this community, get to work on this project as we build these units here on the shipyard. YCD as an anchor institution is looking forward to the moment when we can see children run around in this community, when we see families having conversations in the community space, when we see people advertising and promoting Bayview Hunters Point as one of the premier places to live in San Francisco. To our community partners, ABU, APRI, Bayview Hunters Point Multi-Senior Services, Hunters Point family, everyone that we work with and work hard for to see things like this happen, we have just begun and there is much more work to do. Young Community Developers has been dedicated for over 40 years to make sure that there are opportunities for members of this community to not only go to work, but really to remain economically self-sufficient. Block 49 is just a part of that continuation of that work here in this community. It's going to be exciting to see that families don't have to be displaced, but families actually have an opportunity to move to other areas of their community. And for affordable housing, if you look around you, we're not just saying that this is affordable housing, but we're also saying this is affordable housing that you can be proud of, affordable housing that you can be happy to reside in. So we're looking very forward to the continued construction on this project, but seeing everything on to the end and making sure, again, that the community is working, that the community is living here. And we appreciate everyone's support. Thank you all for coming out. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Percy Vaz, who has 3 decades of experience in multi-family developments and construction. He's transformed AMCAL into one of industry's leading builders by developing $800 million in residential and mixed-use productions throughout California. Percy is on the board of directors for the California Housing Consortium, an organization dedicated to advancing affordable housing and community development issues throughout California. Please welcome Mr. Percy Vaz.
Good morning. This is really an exciting day for AMCAL. We are a statewide developer for affordable housing. I've been doing it since 1995, and have been developing real estate in California since 1978, so we're almost 38 years old. We've developed in more than 30 cities, but what makes this day special is that this is our very first project in San Francisco. My heart's always been here, but we've never had the opportunity to do it, and so for that I want to thank Craig Ailman, who helped us acquire the site. And I want to thank, obviously, Mayor Lee and the City of San Francisco and OCI, Young Community Developers, Bank of America, who we have partnered with on multiple transactions throughout the state, and of course Lennar Urban, without whom we would not be here. So I definitely want to thank Lennar. We are looking forward to hopefully doing more of this. There's a lot, as we all know, there's a lot of need, very critical need, and we're only going to make a small dent in this. And I don't think the affordable housing shortage is going to be solved or even getting close to being solved in our lifetime. So we're grateful for the opportunity, glad to be here. This building is going to be ready, Mayor. Hopefully we're going to have you here for the grand opening in June of 2016. And with that, I wanted to acknowledge a lot of the people in AmCal that worked on this project. Robert Baca, the project manager, who you already spoke to, Maurice Ramirez, our executive vice president, and many other folks that are working hard at our main office in LA behind the scenes. I'd like to now introduce LaShawn Walker. She's the Director of Community Affairs for Lennar Urban. She's a native San Franciscan and a resident of Bayview. She has worked for several CBOs in District 10 and is the former president of Bayview Merchants and is currently the Implementation Committee Chair. So please welcome LaShawn Walker.
Good afternoon. What wasn't said about me is that I'm also a Lowell graduate and a USF Don. Now I needed to throw that in. Yay, Lowell. So you've heard, obviously, from our mayor and Mr. Walton and other speakers about the importance of these 60 units of housing. But I'd like to just flesh it out a little bit more. This is our first development of rental housing, which I think is very, very significant. Our inclusionary program has already started on the blocks that are already in construction, 80% of AMI or below, for our for-sale housing that is currently in construction. But having a rental project is very significant, as you've heard already, in terms of the need for a variety of housing types for people in this community. And so I just wanted to stress the fact and the importance of this particular block. The mayor alluded to our workforce goal of 50% of local hire, but we're doing amazing things. And so I wanted to just spend a couple of minutes to say a little bit more about that. Because we're not just building housing for this community, we're building it with the community. We currently, right now, have an average of 45% of our workforce hours are San Francisco residents. So that's not just the goal, that's really happening right now today. We have in our SBE participation right now, we have 46% SBE participation in our housing construction. We have 73% SBE participation for our infrastructure, and we have 75% SBE participation for our professional services. I think that deserves a round of applause. So with all of the affordable housing that is going up in the community right now, including this block and other projects that are not even our projects, we have an average of 63% of all the housing going up in the community right now is affordable housing. I think that too deserves a round of applause. So it isn't just about the statistics, it's about what's behind the statistics. And so you've already heard about these partnerships and how important they are. But as someone who lives in the community as well as works for the community, it's really critical. And so I just wanted to, as I look out, all of you are very committed to the creation, the construction of, the financing for. We got our bank partners up here. So thank you all too. People have thanked us, but thank all of you as well. Now I have the privilege of introducing the director of OCII, as she says, the artist formerly known as the Redevelopment Agency. So Tiffany, forgive me for reading, but you've done so much, I've got to read it. Ms. Bohe is responsible for promoting economic, community, and physical developments in San Francisco's most distressed communities. She managed the Hunters Point Shipyard Development Project aimed at producing economic growth, jobs, and affordable housing for San Francisco, and she's been a great partner for us. Ms. Bohe's track record of negotiating and implementing complex real estate development projects include Mission Bay and planning and development of affordable housing throughout Bayview Hunters Point, Western Addition, the South of Market, and the Recon Point, South Beach areas of the city. In 2012, Ms. Bohe received a certificate of honor from Mayor Lee for outstanding public service to the city. We thank her, and I welcome Tiffany Bohe.
Thank you so much, LaShawn. Appreciate the introduction. And it goes without saying, we owe thanks to our great mayor, Mayor Ed Lee. It is for his innovation and leadership that carries through to the stewards who are overseeing this development here, our commissioners, our president, President Mara Rosales, Commissioner Miguel Bustos, Darshan Singh, Marilee Mondahar. We wouldn't be here without their innovation, their leadership, and their constant drive to make sure we hit our numbers, which matter, and deliver for the people of San Francisco. We're certainly here today celebrating the groundbreaking of Pacific Pointe, which is truly an innovative public-private partnership in that it will deliver much-needed housing for San Franciscans. OCAI is thrilled to partner with AmCal. We're glad to be your first project here in San Francisco. And of course, YCD, thank you so much, Shaman, Percy, and Rob, for your hard work in delivering these 60 units of affordable housing. Just to put a fine point on that, because it does matter, these homes will house families making up to 50% of area median income. For a family of 4, that means earning about $48,000. They'll be able to access these homes. Since these new homes are being built on public land, these homes will be permanently affordable. Much, much needed. The residents at Pacific Pointe are, of course, part of the larger effort of development here at Hunters Point and Candlestick. Lennar, in fact, has contributed both the land and the funding, not all the funding, we'll get to Charmaine, all at no cost to the city and no cost to the taxpayers. Truly an innovative public-private partnership, and that vision stems from the mayor and our policymakers at the commission. Our partner, Lennar, as LaShawn indicated, has broken ground on 5 residential projects, delivering over 280 homes here at the Shipyard, a third of which, right now, will be permanently affordable. These residential projects are just the start. Of course, once complete, there'll be over 12,000 housing units, and a third of all of those will be permanently affordable at below market rates. And of course, as you've heard, these homes are being built for the community, by the community. I want to commend the efforts of Lennar, YCD, City Build, and AmCal for really showing how it's done. I do want to thank the CAC for their leadership and their hard work on this, and you've heard before, but they never get thanked, the staff who are on the ground, Pam Sims, Amabel Aqua Asare, the entire Shipyard team. And I do want to give a shout out to Olson Lee there in the back, the director of the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development. He's been involved with the Shipyard in Hunters Point for decades, almost decades now. It's important to acknowledge his contributions. And we're really pleased to be bringing this here today before you. And now I'm getting to the construction lending. It is our privilege, and we've partnered a great deal on a number of affordable projects, from the Natoma project to others, and that's where Charmaine Atherton comes in. She serves as Senior Vice President and Client Manager for Bank of America's Community Development Banking Group in Southern California. Of course, as you know, community development banking is dedicated to lending and investing in low and moderate income communities. That's all they do. They focus on increasing the supply of affordable housing for renters, for homeowners, small businesses, and promoting economic development in distressed and underserved communities. Charmaine brings 34 years of real estate and finance experience to bear, truly impressive. with the last 20 years focused on affordable housing and economic development. Please join me in welcoming Charmaine Atherton.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Good morning, everyone. It's a great day, a really great day. We have heard about collaboration and partnerships, and that is exactly what is required when you're doing something as meaningful as creating affordable housing for communities in need. Now, public-private partnerships are important. That's the 3 Ps. But the 4th P, persistence, is what really makes the day. And there's been a long time coming to get where we are here today. Relationships are key, and you've heard a lot about that. I'm very proud to say that I don't know if I did your first deal, Percy, but I've been doing transactions with AmCal since 94, 95, when they began in this affordable housing arena. They are good at what they do. They deliver on the promise, and that's the other consistent theme that you hear here today, delivering on the promise. I have to give a shout out to my teammates because collaboration and connections are what make what we do happen. Stephanie Oliveras, Joe Sue, Casey Carpenter, please raise your hands up there. Doesn't happen without them. $20.4 million of construction lending. I think $16 million of tax credit equity in there for the long haul. And we're a permanent lender on this one as well. So we're on every side of this. And we couldn't be more proud and just happy, happy, happy to be here today. And now I'm going to introduce a very important person, the connection to the community. And I'll tell you, these things don't happen without that. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Dr. Veronica Honeycutt and the Hunters Point Shipyard Citizen Advisory Committee, which was established back in 1993. And that was in an effort to increase community participation in advising the agency and the city on matters related to this Hunters Point Shipyard redevelopment. The Hunters Point Shipyard Citizen Advisory Committee is a group of San Francisco residents and business owners who are selected by the mayor to oversee the redevelopment process. The CAC holds monthly community meetings and workshops. They have and still promote principles of environmental justice and sustainability, economic development, and job training. Please welcome to the podium Dr. Veronica Honeycutt.
Well, thank you very much for those kind remarks. And I am bringing warm regards to all of you from the members of the Citizens Advisory Committee. Some of the members on this committee have been on the committee for almost 20 years. And it is always so good for us to be a part of projects like this Block 49 project. This is a culmination of all of those years of hard work, of lobbying people, of listening to the community, of making sure that the interests of the community were folded into Mayor Lee and his staff so that everybody could be happy about forward movement with these projects. I am very delighted, and I want to make sure that this gentleman is recognized today. Kevin, I'd like for you to stand, please. And I want your staff to stand, all of those wonderful people who led. Thank you, all of them, who led the Block 49 charrette Now let me tell you what happened at the charrette. People from the community came in and they talked about this project. They talked about what their anxieties were about the project. They gave feedback about the project, and I want to thank you too, Shimon, because you were an instrumental part of that. And what was wonderful about all of this is that these people who are standing, and you can sit down now, these wonderful people actually listened and folded in the ideas to this project. It wasn't this, you know, yeah, whatever. It was, that's a good idea. Let's see how we can incorporate that. And I think once this is all built out and you see the cultural narrative and artifacts piece to this project, I think you'll be very pleased. There's a real connection of the community with Block 49. So I wanted them to be acknowledged, and we thank you for that. I'm also here to applaud our wonderful and marvelous and always on point mayor, Mayor Ed Lee. And the things that Mayor Lee talked about, the meeting the local hiring goals, that's near and dear to the CAC. We like to make sure folks from our community are employed in various capacity on these projects in the shipyard. The unemployment rate, that's marvelous. More jobs. We're glad to see that our friends in the community are being hired for these jobs. And we are always happy when we see YCD add to their powerful arsenal of skills that they bring to this community. Most of us rely upon YCD in one way or another to make sure that our folks are being taken care of. So I also want to applaud our wonderful people at OCII and our commissioners, AmCal, Lennar Urban, always. I have always said that there is no one quite like the executive director of Lennar Urban, Kofi Bonner. He's at the forefront of some wonderful activities. YCD, and of course our banking partners, we're always happy when they have some money, okay? And very grateful to them as well. So we move forward, building out this project, moving this entire shipyard to fruition. And I want to thank the community, and you know who you are. Those of you who get on the phone and call me or other members of the CAC to say, look, Veronica, this is not going down right, thank you. Because we are then able to share that information with the individuals who are responsible for making things better for all of us. So I have the distinct pleasure of introducing a marvelous young woman who put together this event, by the way. Bridget LeBlanc is a small business owner of LeBlanc & Associates, LLC, and a commissioner who sits on the Southeast Community Facility Commission here in San Francisco. At this time, she will acknowledge invited guests. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Honeycutt. All of the persons on dais has done a very good job at acknowledging all of the people to make this possible. But I would also like to give a special shout out to the OCII commissioners. We really appreciate all of your hard work on this project and other projects. Also, the OCII staff that is present, the Mayor's Hunters Point Citizens Advisory Committee representatives that may be in the audience, young community developers, staff, and board members. Can the staff and board members again of young community developers please stand? I am personally so very proud of that organization. Also, AmCal representatives, and a special shout out to Robert Baca, who could not have been possible. The Mayor's Office of Housing, Bank of America representatives, thank you very much for all the hard work that you do. All of the Lennar representatives, also Mike Gorman, Mauricio Sanchez, and the Cahill representatives that are here today, thank you very much. The community stakeholders of Bayview Hunters Point, without you, events and other projects like this and other things in the community could not happen. And last but not least, at LeBlanc Associates, it is very important that we hire small businesses within the community, and a lot of the small businesses that have made this event successful today are present. And last but not least, what we're going to do now is we're actually going to ask all of the persons that are on the dais to follow BJ. BJ, come on up. And you're going to take your hard hats, and you're going to proceed to the golden shovels, and we're going to take our pictures. Okay? Thank you all for coming in. As soon as that's all over, there is food for you to partake. Thank you very much.